Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome back to our channel. Now, tonight I've decided to go with something a bit different. A bit of a peek behind the curtain, as it were. So if you're familiar with the channel, if this is not your first time here, welcome back. If you are new here, this will be a bit of an odd introduction to the channel, but welcome even as it were. Tonight's going to be a little bit of a peek behind the DM curtain. So as those of you who know the channel will be aware, in addition to summaries and narrative retellings of our Dungeons & Dragons ongoing campaign, I also often on the channel release side stories, little images into our world. And tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about how I create those stories. I have had people in real life, not so much on YouTube, but by all means feel free to comment with questions below. But I've had people ask me, are the stories written with AI, or how do I write them, or what's going on with them, or what the deal is. So AI is involved. It is a component in writing these stories. That is, as I say, a part of it. But I wanted to kind of break down how I go about doing all of this. So you will see on screen up there somewhere, I believe, a text document that's currently open. So this is where I will start to create a story. And what this actually is that I'm building here is a prompt for the initial AI. So first I'm telling it that we want to create a slice of life story. Now I've been using ChatGPT quite a bit for organizing this campaign, filling out and fleshing out details and information, and helping me to write our story. So I've defined that there are differences between a session recap, a background story, a character profile, a slice of life, different types of stories with slightly different tones of writing that I have trained my instance of ChatGPT as we have gone along. So whenever I say slice of life story, that's going to help us with setting the tone for what we're actually writing here, the length of the story, the type of story it is, things like that. We want to set the story in the dark forest. So this is location setting, and as you can see, whenever I'm writing these stories, I've always got my map up in Campfire, so that I can have a look and decide where in the world I want to set something, and where, what places are near that. And this next bit here, as you can see, I remind ChatGPT about our geography. I tell it where the place is set, what's nearby, and in what direction those things are, so that ChatGPT has a bit of a context for where in the world we are. Next thing up then is I look at and I assign history to the place. Now, some of this history is already in ChatGPT. It's already aware of a lot of this. This is more of a reminder and framing for important points for this story. So I mentioned that basically what was going on in this place in the Second Age, what's been going on in the Third Age, things of that nature. I then set the tone. In this case, we're looking for a more dark, scary, horror movie type story. I clarify to it that we do not want to include our player characters. I do put player characters in all caps because I have designated specific characters within our database here as player characters that are only to be involved when requested. Then, just to be completely sure, I clarify exactly who those characters are. I then do exactly the same with major NPCs, although I don't go through and clarify all of those. But this does mean that anyone that is flagged as a major NPC will not be included in this story. I then give it a bit of information on what we do want to include. Fantastical, magical elements, some suggestions, vicious dark fae, Some then questions, motivational questions. Why are they doing this? Are they keeping people away from something? Are the Drow involved? And these are ideas that I kind of give the AI a bit of freedom on in these slice of life stories. What I'm trying to do with these stories is I'm taking general ideas that I already have about the world, and I'm letting the AI flesh these out for me. This is an area that I've chosen in this instance because I don't have a lot of background information on it yet. I have these general themes, these general ideas. I know the geography of what's going on in the area as a whole, but now I want to dig into some specific event that's going to then narratively give me some ideas to work with. Effectively, when it comes to a session of D&D, this is exactly what the characters are doing. They're providing that outside input that's going to help spark some extra creativity for the world. In this case, I'm letting the AI do that for me. I then define that we want primary antagonists that are young elves that are most likely going to be from home, which is nearby. And I do let the AI know that it is free to create new characters as needed for this story. Of course, we've already told it what characters not to use, so it's going to then know to create something new. Some more scene setting then. Why are our antagonists there? Are they looking for something? What are they looking for? The last thing that I've realized as I've been going through this is I've not given a date or a time setting for this. Now, ChatGPT is well aware of my calendar, how the ages work, what the years are, and which characters exist in which years. So what I'm going to do now is just have a pop over to my calendar, reload that, and I'm just going to have a look at our calendar. Now, I think I can kind of guess that this story should be set sometime in the year 55 AR. Now, what we're doing there is I have a calendar with all of the major events that are ongoing within the world, and that does go back into the First Age. Obviously, it's a lot more sparse the further back you go. It's also taking an extraordinarily long time to load, but it will give you an idea once it does load up that I place these things and I'm aware what's going on when. Each one of these has more information beneath them. It lists out when various short stories take place, when sessions take place, when major events take place, things of that nature. So I could be more specific. I could set a month or even a date when I want something to happen. In this case, though, I'm going to be a bit general and just say this happened sometime in the last year. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to drop it into our ChatGPT prompt. And it's going to then take that, and as you can see now, it's searching through our project files. Now I do have multiple various files here that are included as part of the overall reference data. This is what makes up a lot of our database. And I have now lost my screen that I was on. Oh dear, what have I done here? There we go, new chat. Okay. So, it's now going to think about it a bit. I believe. I might have broken it whenever I toggled away. Alright, let's copy this again. And let's just hit it with the prompt one more time. Because I think I did kill it whenever I jumped away. Okay, so here we go. A slice of life horror story set in the cursed dark forest. Next step then is going to be I want to read through this forest, this story. I'm going to see first off, what do I think of it? What information do I want to change? Now, I don't need this prompt anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. And as I read through here, I'm going to come up with any amendments or changes I want to make. So let's go ahead and just do that now. So starting out with scene setting, that the trees don't sway even when the wind howls through the trunks. The forest, the trees are perfectly still. I like that. It's a good scene setting for this forest. Somewhere between the roots and the rot, the old fae whispered. Sounds good. They'd come from home on a dare and a dream. 4 young elves. So here we go. It's creating new characters for us. It's given us some names of them. Their ages, they're all barely past their first century. Reckless by the standards of their kind. And you see, this is the first thing that I want to change here. Though the world has changed. See, now this is not accurate for Olyndar. So I'm going to take this snippet. I'm going to make a new note that says, although, yes, the world has changed, the elves remember. I can't spell whenever I'm trying to type quickly. Okay, so I've got a note there basically explaining that the elves have not forgotten because they didn't live through the second age. They disappeared at the end of the first, they reappeared at the dawn of the third. So we'll keep that note over there for the moment, and we'll keep going. So, Aniel is the leader. It gives a description of them. Lissa was her shadow. Quieter, crueler, always twitching fingers. I like the descriptions. Korath is the only male who wears his mother's ranger's cloak. And Namaris is their youngest. Sounds like a bard, a lute and maps. Do not enter the forest, do not seek what was lost. They were hunting the Thorned Gate. Okay, interesting. So what is the Thorned Gate? The Thorned Gate was said to guard something ancient, a ruin perhaps, a relic, a moon well. The forest has grown teeth. I like that description. The animals are watching, they're cautious. Okay, they make camp. Whispers come in the night. They have dreams. Spider silk, okay, so it sounds like the Drow are involved. They're being followed. Fey tracks, darklings, old forest spirits. Okay, one of our members of our group has vanished. I'm going to make another small change here. find it. The Thorned Gate. Okay, so they've managed to get there. An arch of woven bramble, humming with first age magic. Not alive, not dead, but present. A moonbound, one of the old blood. Okay, so I like this because it's adding a bit more depth to the world. So I know that I have Drow in the world. I know that I have elves in the world. I know that the two have had history and that the Drow were exiled. But here, the AI has come up with a new term for the elves to call the Drow. Moonbound, the old blood. Okay, so I like that. Okay, I don't like that comment though, so that's going to need changing. So I've got a question there. I mean, we know why the Drow didn't return. They were banished. So if there is a Drow here, is this someone trying to sneak back in? Spiders. Okay, we've got spiders. Okay, they get attacked. Only one of them makes it out. And they stumble into Oakleaf a week later, half mad. Dreams stitched shut. Okay, so we've got a nice little story here, very short, but it very much sets a tone for this area. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to prompt it with small revisions, and then these notes that I've taken I'm going to put in here. I'm going to drop back in, and again it's going to think about it, it's going to take into account what I've just said, and it's going to give me an altered version of this story. So let's just browse through it once more and see what's changed. So that's still the same. We've still got the same color, the same characters. See, here we go. We've got the changes. The world has changed, yes, but the elves remember. So it's taken that into account now. It goes into remembering the first age, what they've lost. But still in parts of the old homeland still ached like a wound. It's changed it up a bit here. It's talking about what each of them hopes to find there. Good, good. I like that. They still make camp. That's all very similar to what it was before. And you see here, again, it's taken into account what I said about would they look for their friend. And it's basically specifying there's nothing to look for. They're not pressing on because they're careless, because they don't know where to even look for her. I like it. I like it. There's a bit of conflict. Some of them want to search. Can we get to the gate? Dogs go mad in the background. Okay, interesting. Okay, this is why the Drow never, and then the word returned catches. They weren't kept out, they were cast out, banished. They weren't supposed to return. The Drow are starting to come home. Okay, interesting. I like that. So that is setting the idea that the Drow are trying to make a return to the Elven lands. Very nice. Okay, there's then someone wanting to raise the alarm. The Drow opens its eyes and obviously attacks them. The Drow never left. They were waiting. They planted their gods beneath our roots, and now the roots remember. I like that. We didn't find the gate. The gate found us. That's interesting. Now, I'm very happy with that as a bit of a slice of life to set the scene for that forest. And, I mean, as you can see there's not a lot to it. I've taken a lot of information that I already had, a lot of information that was already in the system that I've built up over time, and with just a few prompts. I mean, I had probably, half a page of prompts there to begin with. So I'm giving it framing, I'm giving it outline, I'm giving it themes, and then I'm letting this fill in the spaces of the world. And then I'll be able to take this jumping off point, and should our characters ever come to this place, now I definitely have a wonderful thing to bite into, a nice meaty piece of information to set the tone and the sound and the theme and the appearance of this place. And that's really all there is to it. So, am I using ChatGPT to write these stories? I am, yes. But I'm not just letting it spit out whatever it wants. I am curating this. I am framing it, shaping it, letting it fill in, and then I'm going back through and I'm amending, changing, questioning, altering, until I do get a story that I'm happy with. Now, in this case, it's only taken one pass. Some stories take 3, 4, 5, 10 passes before I actually get a story that I'm happy to put out. This one went fairly easy. It was nice. And there you have it. That's how I write the side stories for our D&D campaign. I do hope that you enjoy listening to those stories on YouTube, and I do hope that if you are a DM, you'll see something in this that will show you that AI is not something that you need to fear as a DM, but it is something that you need to keep a control on. Don't just let it determine everything. Don't just let it run wild. Yes, you need to double check it. You need to read through it and question and alter and change and make sure that what comes out the other end of it is what was in your head, even if it's gone through and clarified it and filled in those gaps. So with that, I'm going to say to you guys, good night, have a wonderful evening. Please comment below what you think about AI for the writing of D&D stories and what your thoughts on it are. If you are interested in me showing you how I create new NPCs or new magic items or new locations, shops, whole towns, I use a hybrid of my own ideas and letting this fill in the gaps for a lot of that now for my campaign writing, and it has made it a lot easier. I'm also thinking about in the near future doing a video possibly on how I actually use AI to help me set up my outline before a session begins, so I have an idea, a very organized idea of what I'm planning to do. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought, and I will catch up with you guys in the next one. Have a good one.